Hello, everybody. This is Cheryl Renee Moses, and welcome to my first episode of Overlay for the Underlay. Overlay for the Underlay is a show I've had in my mind for a number of years, but I've decided to kick it off today since this celebrates the year two of me not working, being a displaced employee from a mass layoff. So get ready for my creativity. So I'm my own engineer and talent. So this first episode, bear with me, and we're gonna make this do what it do. Okay, so I want to talk to you about something that came to my attention last week, actually. And we're going to go over the play by play, the timeline, everything that has transpired. Want to bring you up to date on where we are. So the headline that I have for this video is Gwinnett County approves a statue of controversial Gandhi, Mahatma Gandhi, the guy we've always heard the narrative of him being, a humanitarian and fighting for the oppressed. So let's dive right into what this video is all about. So let's go to my timeline first. So my timeline, here's what transpired, so we are all be on the so that we're on the same page, right? All right, here we go. So here's my timeline of events. I hope you can see this. Let's blow it up a little bit more. Let's see. Maybe. Well, you can see this. All right. So on September 22nd, last week, 2019, I received a call through my magazine, which is Black Gwinnett. You can find that at blackgwinnett.com. We'd love to have you as one of our viewers. And we have a print guide coming out this month on the 10th. It is a quarterly magazine printed, but online every day of the year. All right, so I got a email, a call first before the email that talked about, okay, so the call came from a member of the Organization of Minorities of India with information that a Gandhi statue was going up in Gwinnett County at Bryson Park in Lilburn, Georgia. The event is scheduled. Look, I'm speaking it into existence by saying was. The event is scheduled for October 9th. I have here October 12th or 9th because there were a number of discrepancies between the date online. And it said that it was approved by the Gwinnett County, and it also had Gwinnett County's logo. Now, this flyer was all across social media, and in fact, I'm gonna show it to you as well. Now, the invite is right here. So here's the invite. Celebrating the 150th birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi. Now, it says, hosted by IFA Atlanta. That's Indian Friends of Atlanta in association with the Consulate General of India in Atlanta. So you see it says here, celebrating 150-year birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi. Oh, we're going to come back to that. I didn't mean to do that. Mahatma Gandhi. And at Bryson Park, planting 150 fruit trees. Be part of this historic event by sponsoring a tree. It says here that thank you, India and USA, Consulate General of India, Atlanta, Gwinnett County, see that? And BAPS charity organizations. Only 150 people get a chance to sponsor the tree. Right now, when you go to the auction, we see that the date this auction was started is September 10th, 2019 at 4 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, I want you to keep that in mind, September 10th, 2019. Okay? So now, I have to say, I'm a bit blown away. I'm definitely a bit blown away about really how all of this came to me, how it all transpired. And, I'm a firm believer that everything happens for a reason. So let's get back to the timeline. So the timeline, on the 22nd, I got the call from the Organization of Minorities of India. And on the 23rd, I was told that members of Gwinnett County Board of Directors with the Gwinnett Parks and Recreation were sent an email with information on why not to support or not allow the Gandhi statue to go up on public property in Gwinnett County. I was told that the Organization of Minorities of India had contacted all of the Gwinnett County Board of Commissioners as well. So I went online, doing some research, investigating this, and I found out that there was a Gwinnett County Commissioners meeting coming up last week on the 24th. I couldn't make it because of things that were already scheduled. So I told the rep over at the Organization of Minorities of India that the meeting, it was a public meeting and to go. So he went, Nanak went and found out that no one on the Board of Commissioners had ever heard of this event, had not approved it. Now, this was on the 28th. I want you to pay really close attention to the timeline here because it's really, really important. So on the 28th, the meeting, you see here, the Gwinnett County meeting was on the 24th, but it wasn't on that agenda. Now, folks have, been notified that there are folks questioning what's going on with this, right? So then I got another call that said there was a meeting coming up. A celebration was going to happen at Georgia State University, and it had the exact same information about the bust or statue being unveiled at Bryson Park, and the 150 trees were going to be planted in the name of Gandhi. So on the 30th, I did some research. The 30th was yesterday because the day is October 1st. I did some research and found out that there was a meeting of the Board of Commissioners coming up the very next day, which is today, October 1st. So I made some calls because I wanted to find out what was the process of getting things approved. How could something already be publicized but hadn't been approved by the Gwinnett County Board of Commissioners? So let's see. I want to go now to the agenda. So I went online to Gwinnett County to pull up some information. So let me just show you what I found here. So there was a public meeting. Oh, shoot. I didn't mean to do that. There was a public meeting No, it wasn't public. It's a business meeting. So I'm going to pull this up so we can look at it together. So if you want to find out anything about Gwinnett County Board of Commissioners meeting, you do that from their website. So they have this link here for notices. It also details the agenda. So we look here. I went online here and I looked and I saw that the meeting was October 1st, 10 a.m. And I looked at the agenda for both of these. But hold on, let me not get ahead of myself. I want to share with you what I found out. Okay, so it was after doing some calls, I was about to get ahead of myself, but after doing some calls, I did find out that there is a process, of course, for having anything approved for Gwinnett County. And I'm going to speak a bit more about that in just a second, because I have had to work with Gwinnett County on a number of occasions to use their meeting spaces that are available to citizens and the public, well, nonprofits. All right, so let me tell you what I found out. Commemorative projects suggestions are first approved through the Gwinnett County Parks Foundations. Now, the Gwinnett County Parks Foundation is a 501c3 nonprofit, and it is not any part of Gwinnett County government or any of that. It is a foundation that has a board. Let me find. Now, their website is their information is part of the Gwinnett County website, although they're not actually part of Gwinnett County. So let's take a look at that. All right, so it says Gwinnett Parks Foundation, established 2001 to support Gwinnett County Parks and Recreation. So when we go to the website, I looked at, information that is here. I looked at the about to find out the board of directors. Here are the boards. Peggy Levengood is the president. Mike Levengood is the chairman. Helen Blaylock is the secretary. Sandy Elliott is the treasurer. And then the Gwinnett County staff person is Tina Fleming. Now, she's a Gwinnett County employee. The director of this department we're going to talk about in just a second. So here are the board members that's on this. I see, looks like I see a legislator on here. I haven't looked up each person who is on here, but I definitely looked up the board of directors. So let's go back to what we found out to be the process. So as I was saying, it is my understanding that commemorative project suggestions are first approved through the Gwinnett County Parks Foundation, which is a 501c3 organization, and as I said earlier, is not part of Gwinnett County. Now, once that is approved through the foundation, Gwinnett County Parks Foundation, it is then sent to okay, y'all know I'm rocking and rolling this, engineering it myself. Okay, so once it's approved by the Gwinnett County Parks Foundation, the projects are then sent to the Gwinnett County Parks and Recreation directors for approval. Now, the Gwinnett County Parks and Recreation directors are all Gwinnett County employees appointed to be directors. All right. Now, these are employees, Gwinnett County employees. Now, the next step in the approval process, the final step, is for those projects approved by the Gwinnett County Parks Foundation that have then gone over to Gwinnett County Parks and Recreation directors, and now sitting before the Gwinnett County Board of Commissioners. they are supposed to approve any projects. So the last and final step is going before the Gwinnett County Board of Commissioners and getting the project approved. So how is it that this organization was able to start promoting their event, just promoting their event without ever having it approved by Gwinnett County Board of Commissioners? Okay, so I said, how could that be? Now, I run a nonprofit, as many of you know. I run a few nonprofits, but I've used the meeting space in the Gwinnett County Justice and Administration Center. It is available to nonprofit organizations to use for meeting once a month. You can use it once a month. Now, this last month, yes, because we're in October, last month, I sent in a request to use the meeting space for our upcoming festival, a meeting of our members, and a conversation around the state of Georgia film and TV industry in light of the heartbeat bill, the abortion bill, as well as other bills that are, I feel, detrimental to citizens of Georgia. So I went online to fill out the information. I got responses back that I had to supply, proof that I was registered with the Secretary of State as a nonprofit, had to show proof of my $2 million liability policy to just hold a meeting in the building. And then they checked to see if we were legitimate on the Secretary of State website. They wanted more proof. And they CC'd the newest judge of Gwinnett County, Mason. They CC'd her on me trying to book free space that's available to citizens of Gwinnett County. So that's why it's so surprising to me that the processes and procedures that are laid out clearly for how things are supposed to be conducted was completely bypassed in this situation. And I want to know why. That should not happen. Everyone should be held to the laws and processes and procedures of Gwinnett County, but clearly we see that wasn't done here. So let's look at, let's move a little further. I want to show you how after a rep went to the September 24th meeting to find out what was going on about this statue, and Gwinnett County are quick to tell me it's a bust, but it's a bust, statue, whatever you want to call it, and come to find out at that meeting that it never had gone before the Board of Commissioners, but had already been advertised. So, one thing I wanted to show you. I did about September 10th. And that date, September 10th, of when they started selling tickets for these trees of a project that had not been approved by Gwinnett County, using Gwinnett County logos on all of the, collateral, all of that was done. So I peeped at the agenda for the business meeting, because when I found out that, I don't want to get ahead of myself. So I called and spoke to a rep over at Gwinnett County Parks and Recreation. He is the person that gave me all of this information about the process of getting things approved. And I must say, it was like pulling teeth. It was as if he did not want to give me the information. And he kept telling me that all of the information was on the county website. So I went on the website. I'm going to show you this. And miraculously, now after this organization has already publicized the event, and said we are doing it, holding another event at Georgia State to talk about and celebrate this statue and these trees that are going up for Gandhi at Bryson Park. It miraculously shows up on the agenda of Gwinnett County Board of Commissioners. Now, not on a public hearing, but on a business meeting that no public are supposed to have anything to say at. Now, this is called CYA. Y'all know what CYA is. If you don't, Google it. All right, so now let's look at what we see on the agenda. It's miraculously listed. Community service. Tina Fleming is the person that was presenting. It says 2019-0968 approval to accept a donation of 100 fruit trees from the Indian Friends of Atlanta, as well as the volunteer assistance in planting the trees to be utilized for the purpose of establishing a food forest at Bryson Park. The estimated value is $8,000. Staff recommendation approval. You see? So the staff has recommended this be approved, although it has already been advertised. They are auctioning off bricks. They're not calling it bricks, but auctioning off trees, if you will. I'm sorry, y'all, but yeah, they're auctioning off trees. So I looked at this and I said, how could something be advertised? Event set up at Georgia State University. Event already advertised across social media, Facebook event, on their website, that this event is happening. It's happening. And that has been up since September 10th. So as of September 10th, this was already placed. This a go. It's already a go. And nothing had been approved. All right, so how I know this is CYA is because I did a little more looking at these documents. And y'all, I'm sorry, I'm just very anal. I'm an anal person, and I read everything. I love numbers. I go through everything. So we see here that it shows that it's on the agenda. Now, I want to hop over to this preview page. I want you to see this preview page. So, it's page 11. It should be. Let's see. Sorry to be scrolling all through here for you. Okay. Okay, here's the agenda. Oh, y'all, look at this. We are watching. Okay, you all. We are watching a cover-up as it happens. Now, this is live from the Gwinnett County website, okay? I have another document. I hope I saved this. Let me look to see if I saved this. Now, this is a document before they had 1191 pages, 1,191 pages. This document does. Now, the pages that has it, oh my God, this is a straight cover-up. We are watching a cover-up in action. Okay, y'all. This is my first real episode of Overlay for the Underlay. and overlay for the underlay. Overlay is a narrative that's put up before us, and underlay is the junk, the undercurrent of things that are done. Now, we are watching a cover up of Gwinnett County folks in action. This is live. It is not Memorex. So stay with me as I dig through this. Now, this is the live document that I just showed you a minute ago. I do believe I saved this document. I do believe I saved this document. So hopefully I did. Wait, I have the, okay, let's see if I have it. I hope I did. Because the good thing about it, though, I have the actual letter. I'm going to scan this letter. I'm going to take a picture of it. Because what they've done on the letter, and you'll see when it was recorded. It definitely was recorded in the auditorium. So the letter, where is that letter? I'm going to find this letter. But the letter is dated for September 11th. And I'm going to get that letter. But the letter written from Tina Fleming's is dated September 11th. Y'all, this is so funny. It's so funny to me that we are watching a cover-up as it happens. So, the logo. I'm sorry, y'all. This is just hilarious to me. All right. So they've taken the document down. However, I have a hard copy. Of it. But in the letter, I have a hard copy. So I will definitely be going back to that. But in the letter that Tina Fleming wrote, it said, the letter was dated for September the 11th. And in the letter, it said that the Gwinnett County Parks Foundation had approved the project of the Gandhi and the trees on September 13th. And as I said in the auditorium today, Tina Fleming must be a future reader, because it's impossible for her to have known that on September 11th, that 2 days later, miraculously, the Gwinnett County Parks Foundation was going to approve this project. That's in the letter. And also a thing in the letter, and I'm going to add that, I'm going to add a link to those documents because I actually printed those out. And thank goodness I printed them out, because you see, we watch live that they have revised this PDF and agenda. This document should not be, I'm sure it is against the law for them to go in and change a document that has already been made public on the website. So we are watching conspiracy. Talk about the stuff that's going on with Donald Trump, 45. We got conspiracy going on right here in Gwinnett County. Ha! And I am the one bringing it to you through Overlay for the Underlay. And this is just a sample of how these politicians, these folks in government offices, how they operate. Definitely how they operate. Okay, so let's get on. I don't want to make this video any longer than it needs to be, but that's hilarious to me that we have actually watched a cover-up happen before my eyes. And I'm just excited because I have been, which I'll talk about in another show, I have really been having a rough time of it in the past 2 years since I lost my good cushy job. And Spirit has been on me to just start talking. I talk about every subject. So I'm gonna do this every day. That's why I launched today, and the Most High has brought me this. This is my story that I'm bringing to you right now, and I'm loving it. Okay, so let's go back over here to my computer because I want to show you one other thing here. Okay, so we looked at the agenda. Now, you see these meetings? This is what I want to bring up to you. Now, before we came and started asking questions last week about this statue and this project, you see all of these other sessions where you see a public hearing. This is for things to come before the public, and then the public is able to respond. So because I have uncovered their corruption in the process, they shot this agenda item, this project, on not something that would have been heard by the public, although citizen money is being used for this, and although, which we'll talk about a little later, the Gandhi himself is very controversial and a racist. That's documented. You can Google it. He's a racist. Gwinnett County, majority minority is African Americans, black folks. Although, if you look at how this county has programming, if you ask anybody, you would never imagine that African Americans are the majority in Gwinnett County. That's another video I'm doing today or tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. But here we are looking at the agenda. Let me show you the agenda, because I want to make sure you all have all the facts so you can make an educated decision on what I'm bringing forth to you. Now, you see how you have public hearing, then you have the work session, brief and informal business discussion, executive session, and you see public hearing, right? Well, they slid this item, this project, they slid it on this business session that the general public can't say anything on. So I went to the meeting, and I did, I spoke because I said this was a sham. This was a total sham that they were doing. They were not following any processes or procedures that are laid down clearly. And the attorney that was there, I brought it up to him, and all of them was really trying to shoo me away and shut me up. But y'all know I'm not one. You can't shut me up. I'm like a dog on a bone. Once I'm on to something, I'm rocking and rolling with it. So we see how they are covering all of this up, all of this, but I'm moving forward with it because this is a cover-up, and them pushing forward this project without it even being approved, that the Indian Friends of Atlanta already knew that this was going to go forward almost a month ago, had already started publicizing it, using the Gwinnett County logo, all of that done, and it hadn't even been approved. So that tells me that somebody had already told them it's a done deal, it's approved, go ahead and start marketing. That's not how things are done. That's just like somebody passing a law and saying that it's going to go in effect on January 1, like the heartbeat bill, right? That it's going in effect on January 1. So you can go ahead and start doing it now. We're going to go ahead and enact it, before, well, not that it starts January 1, but that it was going to pass, if they already knew it was going to pass. So we can go ahead and start write the law, enacting the law, enforcing the law. You can't do any of that if the law is not passed. And the same for these projects. This project, how can you advertise it and it haven't even been approved? So the next thing I want to bring to you about this is a few things. And I'm going to first let you watch a video that was done about Gandhi. I want you to watch this video. As you watch this video, then I'm going to go find the letters so that I can read them to you and show them to you on air, because it was there, just an hour or so ago. That is so funny to me. All right, so now I want you to watch a video. So I told you there were two reasons I'm against this project. First reason was how it was all laid out and approved. I just showed you that. Now I want somebody else to talk to you about why I feel it's inappropriate for Gandhi to be recognized here. Gandhi is controversial and a racist. That's documented. The University of Ghana just pulled down the statue of Gandhi because of his racist views against Africans. So let me let you watch this video here. All right, it's Cheryl Moses. I'm on it. Let's see here. All right, let's get my screen. Boop. All right.
It would be fatal for the nation to overlook the urgency of the moment.
Oh, let me start this over. Sorry.
That was Dr. Martin. It would be fatal for the nation to overlook the urgency of the moment. That was Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s warning to us when he delivered his dream of racial reconciliation on that August day over 50 years ago. This sweltering summer of the Negro's legitimate discontent will not pass until there is an invigorating autumn of freedom and equality. 1963 is not an end, but a beginning. Dr. King's dream began with freedom and equality. He dreamed of the beauty in the soul of every human. I have a dream that one day, down in Alabama with its vicious racists, one day right there in Alabama, little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as brothers and sisters. This young leader of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference has won enough victories to be immortalized as a hero, an icon of human rights, a symbol of humanity. It's his dream of all men being free at last that resonates with us so deeply. Let me tell you about another dream, and we don't have to go far to find it. This second dreamer occupies this space that was set aside as a center to commemorate Dr. King's legacy. Right before me stands a statue of Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. Most people know him as Mahatma, which means great soul. Gandhi was from a different country. He was from a different race, and he had a very different dream. Gandhi's dream was to make sure that little black boys and little black girls never played together with little Indian boys and little Indian girls. 50 years before apartheid, Gandhi moved to South Africa after finishing his education as a lawyer in England. South Africa was a British colony at the time. The colonizers had already established a two-tiered system of racial segregation. Immediately after arriving in South Africa, Gandhi moved to the city of Durban. There, in Durban, he encountered a problem. Buildings were racially segregated. At the city post office, he saw that there was a two-tiered system of separate entrances. One entrance was for white people, and the other was for non-white people. We felt the indignity too much, said Gandhi. Gandhi, the lawyer, leaped to action. The problem, he said, was that the Indian is put on the same level with the native black Africans. He petitioned the authorities to do away with this distinction. The government listened to his appeal. They did what he asked. Boasting about the victory, Gandhi said that separate entrances will now be provided for the three communities. 3 doors instead of 2. Indians no longer had to share a door with blacks. Thanks to Gandhi's efforts, South Africans got a 3-tiered system of racial segregation. The first seeds for apartheid were sown. Gandhi clearly explained his reasons for separating Indians from Africans. He said, a general belief seems to prevail in the colony that the Indians are a little better, if at all, than the savages or the natives of Africa. Even the children are taught to believe in that manner, with the result that the Indian is being dragged down to the position of a raw kafir. Gandhi thought it was a terrible mistake to treat Indians and Africans as equals. Instead, he argued that Indians and Europeans were the real equals. He claimed that both the English and the Indians spring from a common stock called the Indo-Aryan. Gandhi wanted Indians to be treated as Aryans. Let's take another look at the American Civil Rights Movement. Almost 10 years before Dr. King told us about his dream, a brave woman challenged the vicious racists of Alabama. Rosa Parks refused to move to the back of the bus. She stayed in her seat in defiance. She knew that all people are created equal. We know what Rosa Parks did, but what would Gandhi do? After spending 21 years in South Africa, Gandhi moved back to India. Just like South Africa, India was a British colony, and it had a different kind of segregation called the caste system. Gandhi was born in a rich, high caste family. He had a high-paid career as a lawyer. He wasn't disadvantaged like the low caste. He wasn't excluded like the outcast. He had a privileged life. In India, Gandhi reassured his high caste friends that he wanted to keep the system going strong. I believe in caste division on the basis of birth, he said. One acquires one's caste by birth. What about low caste people? What was their place? Should they refuse to move to the back of the bus? Gandhi explained that a low caste Shudra can't be called a high caste Brahmin, even if he possesses all of the qualities of a Brahmin by his inheritance. He should never claim his right other than the caste in which he was born. This is an evidence of him being humble. Stay in the back of the bus, Gandhi would have told Rosa Parks. You should never claim a right other than the race in which you were born. It is the evidence of being humble. While preaching to Rosa Parks about humility, Gandhi would tell the vicious racists of Alabama, whites and Indians both come from the same Aryan stock. Don't make me sit in the back of the bus. If you want to make me sit in the middle, that's fine. But don't make me sit in the back with the blacks. Remember the dream about little black boys and little black girls joining hands with the little white boys and little white girls? What was Gandhi's dream? Before apartheid in South Africa officially segregated people into multiple groups, Africans and Indians were often put into the same group. Gandhi wanted Indians to have their own separate group. He especially wanted to keep children from mingling and mixing and playing together. In the city of Durban, there was a school where only Indian children were allowed. The Department of Education decided to open the school to let in children of some other races. So Gandhi protested. In a letter to the Minister of Education, he wrote, "We have come to know that it is the intention of the government to change the higher grade Indian school at Durban into a school for colored children generally. The decision to open the school for all colored children is unjust to the Indian community and is a departure of the assurance given to me by the then Minister of Education that the school will be reserved for Indian children only. It is only fair that the British Indians should have, in the largest town in the colony, a school reserved for them." Gandhi dreamed of apartheid. There's no statue of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. at the King Center in Atlanta, Georgia. Here in this national park, dedicated to the legacy of the champion of the American Civil Rights Movement, there is a statue of a segregationist. This statue of Gandhi has usurped the rightful place of Dr. King. Gandhi was not a part of the civil rights movement in America. Gandhi hated blacks. The dream which Gandhi worked to make a reality looked more like the apartheid of South Africa or the caste system of India. So why is this statue here? What does Gandhi have to do with America? Well, in 1988, the Indian government donated this statue as a gift. Just as Confederate statues were erected during Jim Crow, India followed suit by erecting statues of Gandhi all over the globe. Their hope is to propagate Gandhi as a man of peace, though he was active in every major war of his lifetime. This hope is in vain. The world is not convinced. The people of Africa have awakened. At the University of Ghana, students received a Gandhi statue by calling him out as the father of apartheid. They wanted the statue gone, and they won. In December of 2018, his statue was torn down. Gandhi is gone from Ghana. In Malawi, citizens went to court to halt the construction of a Gandhi statue. Local protesters asked, by accepting this statue of someone who thought Africans were subhuman, is it not telling our people that they are indeed inferior? In December 2018, the judge ruled in their favor and blocked the statue. From his early 20s until his 40s, Gandhi lived in South Africa. He made many, many racist remarks, but he didn't just say mean things. He actively and successfully campaigned for racial segregation. Gandhi didn't change after he left South Africa. He just shifted focus. Instead of spreading racism in South Africa, he helped spread the cause of the caste system in India. This is the whole of Gandhi's dream. He dreamt of whites being dominant in South Africa, and he worked to make it happen. He dreamt of segregation, allowing him enough room to hate comfortably. He wouldn't have dreamed of holding hands with Kafirs, as he called the natives. For those natives of South Africa, the Dalits, the Shudras, for the minorities of India, Gandhi's dream is a nightmare. Honestly, I'm glad that Gandhi has nothing to do with America. If it were up to him, the whites would be dominant. The people would be segregated. If Gandhi had met Rosa Parks, he would have told her to stay in the back of the bus. He would have told Dr. King to give up his civil disobedience and to submit to white supremacy. And he definitely wouldn't approve of me telling you the truth about the difference between these two dreams, Dr. King's dream and Mr. Gandhi's dream. This was Dr. King's dream. Those who hope that the Negro needed to blow off steam and will now be content will be in for a rude awakening if the nation returns to business as usual. And there will be neither rest nor tranquility in America until the Negro is granted his citizenship rights. The whirlwinds of revolt will continue to shake the foundations of our nation until the bright day of justice emerges.
So there you have it. And you can't say I didn't bring it to you. And here's what I want to say to everyone. Yes, there has been a huge narrative around Gandhi being a humanitarian and all for, his people, for equality. But he did not feel that same equality should have been given to Africans. And I'm an African American here in the United States. There is no way there should be statues erected commemorating a man who could not stand Africans, black people, my people. So I want to go back to, I showed you all. Y'all, I'm sorry. I just can't help but laugh about this. But I found the letters. Good thing I printed them out. If I hadn't printed them out, I wouldn't have no proof that these 2 pages have now been deleted from the official agenda of Gwinnett County. Okay, so let's get back on this page so I can show you what I'm talking about. All right, so here is this page. Now, under today's date, here is the agenda package, the new one. So I see a revision date. You see that revision date? That date now says October 1st, 2019, the agenda package. It's no way. This package this is the revised package. So we see it's not even the new. This is the new package. It's not the old package because this agenda package had been up a long time before today. So this is Tina Fleming covering her butt. CYA. I'm going to go on and say it. She's covering her ass. And even at the session today, she didn't want to talk to any of us. Okay, so now let's flip, because now before, I even remember the page number, because before these 2 pages, let me see. I'm going to show you the pages in a minute, but before, the 2 pages I'm getting ready to show you were pages 11 and 12. Those pages have now been totally deleted. Now, if an item is on the agenda, that information pertaining to it so that the Board of Commissioners can make a, informed decision is here. But as you see, they have deleted the old page 11 and 12. So now I'm going to show you and read to you what it was before, so that I'm not crazy. I want you to know I'm not crazy. Okay, let me see, how does this look on camera? All right, so this is I have notes written on it, but let me move in closer. See this letter right here? This was page 11 in the agenda packet. You see that says, to Chairman, Gwinnett County Board of Commissioners, from Tina Fleming, Director, Department of Community Service. From Mark Patterson, Deputy Director, Department of Community Services. Dated September 11th. See that? request agenda item for BOC acceptance of a donation from the Indian Friends of Atlanta. Now I got to zoom in and let the camera focus because I want you to see this part. Now these are my notes that I took about what I was saying, what my comments at the meeting today. All right, so it says, in addition, through the Gwinnett Parks Foundation commemorative program, the Indian Friends of Atlanta have donated a commemorative bust of Gandhi that will be centered within the food forest. In fact, let me go up to the top and read this entire. I want you to see the entire letter. Approval authorization is needed from the chairman to accept the donation of 100. Now, here it says 100, although the advertisement said 150. 100 fruit trees from the Indian Friends of Atlanta NPO. As part of the Harvest Gwinnett initiative, these trees will be utilized for the purpose of establishing a food forest at Bryson Park. A food forest is an integral component to assisting communities that live within food deserts by providing access to fresh fruit and nuts. This first food forest in Gwinnett County will become a benchmark for future partnerships, with other local groups within public areas. Additional assistance in planting and establishing these trees will be done by volunteers from the Indian Friends of Atlanta. And that's when it goes in. In addition, through the Gwinnett Parks Foundation commemorative program, the Indian Friends of Atlanta have donated a commemorative bust of Gandhi that will be centered within the food forest. This action was approved by the Gwinnett Parks Foundation on September 13th, 2019. Do you see that? September 13th, 2019. But this letter is written and dated September 11th. So she must be magical, can foresee the future. I'm talking about Tina Fleming, Director, Department of Community Services of Gwinnett County Department of Gwinnett County Department of Community Services, Parks and Recreation Operations. So she's a director, Tina Fleming. Now, this letter is dated September 11th. And she says this action was approved by the Gwinnett Parks Foundation on September 13th. Now, let's go back to the date that we saw that the auction was put up. Now, that auction was put up on September 10th. Let me refresh your memory here, cause All right. So if you see there, you see right here what my point is? It says this auction was started on September 10th, 2019 at 4:00 p.m. Auction of 150 fruit trees to be planted at Bryson Park. Sponsorship opportunities are available for companies and individuals to support the beliefs, typo is, they don't know how to spell beliefs, of Mahatma Gandhi. Bricks around the statue of Gandhi, memorial plaques around the statue of Gandhi. They are looking to raise $100,000. And they've raised $9,000 so far. Now, y'all, I want you to, I just want y'all to, I just want you to look me in my eye. Do you see this cover up? And these people are so don't want to say stupid, but maybe stupid. So ignorant that they don't even have their dates together. They must think nobody has access to the internet but them. They must think that nobody knows how to do a little research. And most people don't do research, but I do. I'm anal in that way. So I believe in following the trail. I followed the trail, and so it's some BS going on with this project. This project should not be allowed in Gwinnett County, not on public property. Now, it can be allowed if the Indian Friends of Atlanta want to put this on their own private property, but I'm a homeowner and a taxpayer in Gwinnett County. I don't want none of my money going to this. And I'm sure many other African Americans and black folks who live in this county will feel the same way once they are educated on Gandhi's real beliefs about Africans, about black folks. Because I tell people all the time about racism, about white supremacy. Yeah, you know, people who are white and who are white supremacists, cis, racist, people in their, you know, family and their friends and their social circle of all white folks, they think these people are fabulous. They're very loving, see about their families, but they are terrorists when it comes to African Americans. So that can exist in a person. You can be 100% just loving and affectionate with your culture. But then when it comes to African Americans or blacks, you ready to kill them, hang them, shoot them dead. All of that, right? Driving while black, being black, all of the hashtag black, all of the hashtag wild black. So this is the same thing. This is exactly the same thing. We have a celebration coming up in just a little bit. Like I went to speak out against this in front of the Board of Commissioners, and oh yeah, they want to shut me down, want the sheriffs to take me out, and all of that. But we had been celebrating Christopher Columbus, you know, because it's the narrative about Gandhi, the narrative about Christopher Columbus. But we find out after folks did some research and not just reading a Western history book, that Columbus was a thief, a liar, and he did not discover nothing. So now all around the country, they are changing their holiday to something else because folks know now that he wasn't nothing like what the history book lied about. See, that's the overlay for the underlay. How Christopher Columbus was celebrated all these decades. And now we have Gandhi celebrated as well as being a humanitarian and want equality. Yeah, he wanted all of that for his people, but he didn't want that for Africans, black folks. He wanted it for whites because he wanted to sit himself, you know, he compared himself to being a, you know, European. So there you have it. Oh, last thing before I leave, I want to show you this. Now, throughout that agenda packet, every documentation I looked at through there had a date on it. Every piece of paper had a date on it, except da-da-da-da. Where my drum roll? Let me show you this. Every piece of paper had a date on it, except the letter from, let me show you. Except the letter from the Indian Friends. I want to make sure you see this. Except the letter from the Indian Friends of Atlanta. No date. Not a date. It says to Mark Patterson, Department of Community Service, Gwinnett County Government, donation of 100 fruit trees to Bryson Park. Dear Mark, Indian Friends of Atlanta, IFA, is pleased to donate 100 fruit trees to Bryson Park for plantation to mark 150th birthday of Mahatma Gandhi. IFA will bear the cost of the bust of Mahatma Gandhi and the pedestal to install the bust of Mahatma Gandhi. We will also bear the cost of the design and development of landing area around the Mahatma Gandhi statue. Please let me know of any questions, telephone number, and the email. And it's signed, let me get that closer. Y'all can see who this is. This is Sunil Savili. He's the founding chairman of IFA. Now, I will contend that is no date on this letter because, I don't know, you all tell me why you think it's no date on that letter. But these are the 2 pages that today miraculously was deleted from the agenda packet that was on the website of Gwinnett County Board of Commissioners. The agendas that should not be changed. I am sure these agenda packages are not supposed to be updated, but we see that it was updated today. So Tina Flemings made sure her mistakes was taken out because I called them out at the meeting. So after I called the meeting out, speaking of the meeting, so went to the 10 a.m. meeting. I told you all earlier that they said no comments, but I made comments because this was all a sham. And I'm upset because here I am fighting Confederate statues throughout Georgia. I don't need to have to fight another statue of a racist person being erected using my tax dollars. No, that's not happening. So let me just look over my notes, make sure I have covered everything that I wanted to cover with you all. And thank you for your patience. Oh, one thing I do want to show you is this right here. I don't know if you ever heard of hoodwink, but I want to make sure you know of it. So I want to give you the definition of hoodwink. Hoodwink, HOOD-WINK. It's a verb. Past tense is hoodwinked, which I do believe we have been hoodwinked. Hoodwinked, deceive or trick someone. An attempt to hoodwink the public. Isn't it ironic that is what, that's the example that's online for the definition of hoodwink. An attempt to hoodwink the public. That's exactly what is going on with Gwinnett County. And this is just me unveiling one instance of that hoodwinking. And I'm unveiling it. I'm unveiling it, but it actually came by accident. Well, nothing is by accident, so let me not say that. Thank you, Most High, for bringing this to me so that I could bring this to my, I guess you're my viewers and listeners, because I am going to put the audio up as well. So I'm going to sign out now. I didn't want to hold you forever. Look like I've held you forever. But I wanted to give you a clear picture of what's going on, how racism operates, how favoritism operates in Gwinnett County, how Gwinnett County political officials, government employees, how they move to get their own way. So it's like the Gwinnett Parks Foundation is a government authority, because they laid this down, they put this down, or somebody laid it down with Tina Fleming doing all the bidding. So give me your comments. I'm gonna scan these 2 documents that somebody in Tina Fleming's department deleted from the official agenda that was on Gwinnett County's website. So you have that. And subscribe to my channel. I'll be doing this every day. Every day I will be coming on to talk about something. This was very long. I will break it up into bits of segment, but I want you to pass this on to anybody you know who lives in Gwinnett County, because this is how they move in Gwinnett County. They are lawless. They're just like 45. They believe they can make a law or a process, but they themselves do not have to follow it. I'm Cheryl Renee Moses. You have been watching and listening to Overlay for the Underlay, while I unveil the overlay, the narrative that they give us with the underlay, the truth behind all that junk. Peace out. Y'all have a good day. Bye.